Let's forget the charts, the indicators, and all the algorithms for just a minute. We're going to talk about the single biggest reason most traders fail. And here's a hint. It has nothing to do with the market. It's all about what's going on in your own head. And this quote, it just nails it. Every single trade you make, every win, every loss, it all starts with this internal fight between your fear, your greed, and your discipline. You have to understand, trading is a psychological game first. The financial part, that comes second. And to really get this, I'm going to share something personal. A little confession about how I learned this lesson the hard and, trust me, very expensive way. This is the story of how my portfolio went completely off the rails. So when I first started out, I had a couple of quick wins right out of the gate, and it felt amazing, like I was some kind of natural. But that feeling, that right there was my very first mistake. I was just riding a wave of beginner's luck. But I thought it was skill, and that false confidence, it made me throw all caution to the wind. I honestly thought I'd cracked the code, but really, I was just setting myself up for an epic fall. What happened next is that I basically stopped trading and I started reacting. I was holding on to stocks that were just plummeting, totally paralyzed by the fear of taking a loss. That I'd sell my winners way too soon because I was scared of losing the profit. I made impulsive buys at the very top because of FOMO. I was like a puppet, and my own emotions were pulling every single string. Look, my story isn't special. These emotional reactions are all rooted in these really predictable psychological traps that get us all. So let's pivot from my own disaster story and actually break down the 7 key blunders that derail almost every trader. It's time to really unpack the psychology of loss. First on the list is confirmation bias. This is the echo chamber we create inside our own minds. Think about it. When you're excited about a stock, you go looking for every article, every tweet that tells you you're right, and you just conveniently ignore all the red flags. This creates this totally warped view of reality, and it leads to some really dangerous one-sided decisions. And this is where you have to get really honest with yourself. Ask this question about how you do research. Am I actually trying to find balanced info? Or am I just looking for someone to tell me my hunch is right? The answer might surprise you. All right, next up is maybe the most powerful trap of them all, loss aversion. What's so wild about this one is the science behind it. Researchers have found that the psychological pain you feel from a loss is literally twice as intense as the pleasure you get from an equivalent gain. Twice. This chart just lays it all out. That 2 times stronger feeling of pain is exactly why we cling to our losing trades, just hoping and praying they'll come back. And it's why we're so quick to sell our winners. We just want to lock in that much weaker feeling of pleasure. It makes no logical sense, but it is 100% human. And it doesn't stop there. There's a whole psychological minefield to get through. You've got overconfidence, where you think you've outsmarted the entire market. Recency bias, which tricks you into thinking the last thing that happened will keep happening forever. Of course, there's herd mentality and FOMO. That's what gets you to buy at the absolute peak. There's anchoring, getting fixated on some old price that doesn't even matter anymore. And finally, good old impatience. Put them all together, it's a perfect recipe for disaster. Okay, so we've laid out all the problems. Now for the important part. How do we fix it? How do we break free from these psychological shackles? This next part is all about the real, actionable things you can do to rewrite your trading story and actually start winning. So here they are, the 6 core principles. 1. Have a written trading plan. These are your rules. 2. Master risk management. Protecting your money is job number 1. 3. You have to learn to embrace small losses. Cut them fast. 4. Practice being detached. Your emotions have no place in your analysis. 5. Commit to continuous learning. And number 6, and this is a big one, you have to make patience your superpower. And hey, if you walk away with only one thing about risk management, let it be this number. Never, ever risk more than 1 to 2% of your total capital on a single trade. I'm telling you, this one rule will keep you in the game long enough to actually have a shot at winning. Let's be really clear about something. Trading is a game, but the field you're playing on isn't the stock market. It's your own mind. So your path to actually making money, it's all about mastering this internal psychological game. I absolutely love this quote. It totally reframes how you should think about losing. Every small, disciplined loss you take, that's just a tuition payment for your education in the market. It's the price of learning. But a big emotional loss, that can be an eviction notice. It can kick you out of the game for good. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one idea. The charts, the news, the data, that's all just noise. The real competition is a test of your mental strength, your mental fortitude. The trader who is disciplined and self-aware, that's the one who wins over the long haul. So here it is, your final toolkit for success. First, you have to acknowledge your biases. We all have them, so just own it. Second, build discipline with a plan you've actually written down. Third, you've got to practice relentless self-awareness. Keep a journal. And finally, change your mindset. Let your losses become your lessons, not your defeats. The market's not going anywhere. It'll be here tomorrow, with all of its opportunities and all of its risks. So the real question, the only question that matters, is this: is your mind ready to conquer it?